inside and outside of the ring, and how I feel he is going today as Chief Content Officer at WWE. A lot of want to get laid.
You know, it's like, as I said, the fact how he treats it is dodgy as. I mean, you've got every reason not to like him. And if you think about it, you're not a person who dislikes people.
I would actually be introduced.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. That's the thing. He wouldn't be.
I was assigned.
You'll know. You'll know because he modulates. You know, people who are just that way treat everyone the same. You know what I mean? They're just curmudgeon-y. You know, they're normally shocked. You know, it's like, oh no, I'm just a bit forwards or a bit abrupt. That's what they think. But I know he changes his behaviour and his tone of voice for certain people. No, he's fully aware of it.
In fact, the Triple H that I was now confident with was 180 degrees different than the
Tell me, 10-year-old nephew's coming visiting and watch him cheer up. Yeah? You know, if you thought your 10-year-old's probably that's it, Sonny and all over. He's just an unpleasant person. There's nothing you can really do with him.
I felt like he was happy I was there, and I felt like he was there and would help me in every way possible. In fact, Triple H was the man who provided me with my first ever pair of wrestling boots. The wrestling boots, again, are not cheap. So when he gifted me that very first pair of boots, I took that as a token of support. Early in my career, I was the under the tutelage of the game, even more on the main event of SmackDown when he and I tagged against The Undertaker and Kurt Angle. Going into this match, to say I was nervous would be a complete understatement. I was backstage, again, wondering why I decided to become a professional wrestler, wondering how to bottle these nerves up and somehow find the ability to go out and perform. And I found Triple H to be a North Star, to be someone I could go to, review the match over with. He was someone that definitely helped ease my nerves. He always was out there and reminded me that we were tagging together. And under no circumstances was he going to look bad. And by default, I was going to then look good thanks to him. In this early match, he never asked me to do anything I wasn't comfortable with. And he made sure that we both found success that night. In fact, that entire first year of my career, I felt comfortable going up to him. So, I would ask him questions about wrestling. I would pick his brain here and there. Developing a little bit
Deal with it, baby.
of a friendship, dare I say. In fact, before they dated what would become Evolution, I even pulled Triple H to the side.
I've got to get the jacket potatoes. So I'm in that region anyway, so if anything's open at 8 o'clock. No, but I'm just saying, if Howdy's open at 8, don't get Howdy and stuff, I've got to be there anyway for my potatoes tomorrow. I have no choice.
Why don't you guys call yourself the Regulators?
I feel like you're ignoring what I'm saying. I feel like you'll come back and stuff from Harry. These are come from home bargains. That comes from home bargains. Yes, if I pick up the brand, you mix in the pot in the morning with the potatoes, and you go to home bargains that. No, so we cut it in half.
I knew this man had the keys to the kingdom. I knew where my bread was buttered, and hey, I'm definitely something crap with it. There's a little bit of a little bit of brown sugar in there with every question I ask the game. In fact, one thing you might not know about Triple H, and it's definitely something that I admire. The man is funny. He has a quick wit, he's great with one-liners, and he has a very big sense of humor. Not many things offend him, and he is definitely one to be in on the jokes and many times be the one providing the jokes. You might be shocked to find out that the relationship I had with
so that's something you made it.
was the exact same relationship I had with Hunter on my last day in the WWE. What did change, however, was my trust I had in Triple H. And I wasn't the only one. Yes, as backstage, I was at the ring, everybody was in his face, laughing, smiling, talking with the man. But they were also trying to better their spot on the card. They were trying to make sure their job would remain the next time Vince had his next round of instruction. But guys felt
Didn't
words about how Triple H was.
Today, because didn't know yesterday. Brought some
constantly questioning his relationship with Steph, and I'm never gonna be the determining factor of love, whether it does or does not exist. It's not my job, but I do know the definition of the word convenience, and that was a convenient relationship for us. What I do know is Vince McMahon owns the WWE, and Stephanie's placement at her father's side made it mighty convenient for Triple H. Now, something I will always respect about Triple H is that he took his job seriously. He trained and carried himself like a professional. The older I get, the more I understand that you can get away with a lot when you're young. Now, there are a lot of supplements out there making big promises, but these days, I actually watch what I put in my mouth. That's where Zapply T1, the sponsor of this video, comes in. Zapply T1 is a natural daily supplement made to support men's energy, recovery, and healthy testosterone levels. It's made with ingredients like zinc, magnesium, vitamin D3, ashwagandha, and shilajit. It's a 14-in-1 foundation built for men who want to support their body in the right way. Now, Zapply T1 isn't a magic pill. It's a clean, natural way to support your energy, recovery, and overall performance. Use code MAVEN15 for 15% off your first order. Plus, Zapply has a 90-day money-back guarantee. So, if it's not for you, you're not stuck with it. Link in the description. Now, I will admit, in my younger days, in my early career, I was a go-with-the-flow type of person. I was trying to make friends, and I was trying to be liked. And guys would talk about the behind their back. Guys would
citizens are engaged in a struggle over some valuables.
accolades he achieved in the ring on his positioning with Vince McMahon and with Steph. Triple H would become an easy target for guys whose careers maybe didn't live up to what their hopes and expectations were, myself included. It was a lot easier to blame, well, I'm not the main event because, you know, Triple H is taking stuff. I remember the company actually forced us to go to his bachelor party. And you're saying, hey, how did they force you to go to his bachelor party? Here's how. We would fly in on Friday, wrestle 3 non-televised house shows. Then on Monday night, do Monday Night Raw, and fly home every Tuesday. That was how it was week after week. Well, the company decided to have Triple H's bachelor party on a Tuesday night in a North Carolina strip club. And they conveniently made sure our flights were for Wednesday. Oh! That's fun, isn't it, today? Welcome back to Dish Up Disney. This is the series where I recreate some of the most famous dishes from Disney's films. I did my envelope of wisdom, which will, thank you, which will let me know what film and what dish we are cooking. So, Disney Pixar Coco.
I hope you're a better driver than you look.
Love the film Tamales. I do not have a clue what Tamales is, but I have seen Coco. I've watched it a few times and stuff. It is a wonderful, wonderful film. Now, let's get Disney Plus up and have a little look at the scene. See what colours is. This is the food scene. She's not up on the start. Oh, you can twin.
Are you certain you've driven this vehicle before?
Like more tamales. That's what I have a clue how to make them. I don't really know what they are, but I have seen Coco a few times, and I know it's set in Mexico. And I've got a couple of good friends who have a fantastic Mexican restaurant called Homies on Donkeys, Sandra and Smokey. I'm going to give them a call and see if they can help me out. I'm sure they can. We had to go. And I can't remember anyone not showing up. Why? Well, of course I was there because I like strip clubs, but most of the guys were there because they just didn't want to be the one that didn't show up to Triple H's bachelor party. Well, actually there was one guy that didn't show up. Who would that guy be? Triple H himself. We were in the club the entire night, and Triple H would show up the last 20 minutes before closing time. Now, I don't know how many guys would have came to his bachelor party if they would have just extended an invitation. But I guarantee when I know for a fact, it would not have been as many as they had, since they were flying us out the next day. Hell,
I
he
accept
didn't
that you
even
would
want to be
drive.
there. Why the hell would I want to be there? Now, my trust level with Triple H would start to wane over time. I would notice that he would make little snide comments here and there, and I certainly was for a joke. Hell, I like being the butt of some jokes. But
You turn around and on about how people making comments about him and you joined in because you just want to be liked.
when they're trying to tell
The
you
assistants
how
at the
much
beach.
respect they do or do not have for you. And his jokes would always err on the side of
It isn't time.
just making sure I knew my place in the wrestling business. And it wasn't just
Because your
backstage,
ego was
it
out of
wasn't
control from
just
him,
in
like,
snide comments.
he was quite
He did
the
on
devil.
TV as well. And I would have people backstage tell me that they saw exactly what I was feeling. And I can even cite a specific example where Triple H wielded his backstage clout to degree on air. But we'll get to that. I know that through my time in the WWE, but I would have it confirmed years after my wrestling career had ended from someone who was actually in those production meetings, someone who went to bat for me, that every time my name was brought up, it was quickly squashed back down. And who was the one doing the squashing? None other than Triple H. If people thought, hey, here's a good idea, here's a good direction that we can send Maven on, here's something that we think he can find success doing, it would quickly be diminished. Nah, he's not ready. He's not there yet. He needs a little bit more time, a little bit more seasoning. And I'm not saying Triple H was wrong. Wasn't. I did the 4 times, and I wasn't ready. But I also noticed that there's been other people with the same skill level as me, and that extra boost, that extra push, that push with someone, and constantly all into that, and that someone has the ear of this. I think after my WWE career had ended, that what I initially thought that was true, it hurt, and it bothered me for a while. And so that's why TV stations would look like pop shots at the man. That's probably my reasoning. That's definitely some of my reasoning. It's not far from a perfect person, and sometimes it's hard knowing exactly where my abilities into it, where someone brings some on the scale. I have no way, shape, or form like Triple H for my career arc, but it just does hurt sometimes knowing that he indeed was weighing in and weighing in on my behalf. At this point, all of this is ancient history. It happened over 20 years ago. And I have let go of any bitterness that I once had. In fact,
You just did a video about why you hate Triple H.
Triple H since my departure from the WWE, it's always been cordial and it's always been friendly. And when he tells me he hopes I'm doing well, I actually believe him, and I hope he knows I feel the same way. But Hunter's role, it's now changed since my day. He is now the chief content officer at WWE, meaning he basically controls the whole show. The job that used to be held by Vince McMahon, it is now Triple H's. And some might say that's the prize he had his eye on the whole time. Now, I've said it before, I will say it again. I routinely watch the programming. But this channel has gotten me back into the mix a little bit. So, how is Triple H doing these days? Well, it's a mixed bag. The positives I see these days, talent have a lot more options. They can pursue other ventures. They can build their own brand. And that was something that during my time was definitely not going to happen. Vince owned you, and you thanked him for it. On a similar note, under Triple H's leadership, the WWE is way more open to working with other companies. Vince always viewed other companies as the enemy, enemies that he wanted to squash, enemies he wanted to take over. Under Triple H's leadership, they are working with TNA, and NXT, it is flourishing. Hunter is also not afraid of adapting. In my time, if my entrance took longer than 30 seconds, I would get an ass chewing. And today, all entrances are such an integral.
Paula's Choice, proud supporter of your skin. The Vodafone summer sale is now on. Save up to £1,484 with the Samsung Galaxy S26 when you trade in and eligible phone. And use Circle to search with Google to find everything this summer fast. Hurry, offer ends the 23rd of June. So go in-store or online today. Vodafone.
That you're gonna get on the White House phone. So maybe I'm going to hate Epstein or some shit. I don't know. You make fun of Trump a lot. The list got a little weird. So you know, release that anytime soon. Which one you just kidding? What's that widow's name? He's trying to slide over here. Some kind of inclusion for fans if you want, but like, you know, just go and fucking ask me. I'm not surprised when I got the call. I got the call. UFC higher-ups called me, big names. They said, Sean, I got to apologize for that. You're not Israeli enough to go to UFC 250.
Alright, so Dana White is control over his fighters. Sean Strickland is the only male UFC champion. He's banned from the UFC White House card for being too critical of Trump and Israel. You're talking about the Epstein files. But he still plans on going to the event to protest outside of it. So this is hilarious. They banned the most popular American fighter from the big
it's crazy. Oh. And they banned him for the most un-American of reasons. His freedom of speech.
Incoming crime alert. Looks to be taking place in Tri-Corner. Either a citizen is caught in a super weird escape room, or they're in really big trouble. Over.
Also, Dana's always talking about the importance of free speech. So it's supposed to be it's called UFC Freedom 250. But now it looks like there's some consequences to what American fighters say in UFC.
There's an outright industry tunnel.
Talks about the Epstein files and Trump
traveling around the city.
I guess that upsets some people that they want. Or they're considering a threat or something, which would be fun. Or maybe they thought this was
For the baseball, the Daily came out and said the fighters can say whatever they want to say.
So this guy's like recordings frustrated such on the I remember doing this, these other Sean's such an unfair to work with, but freedom of speech.
Barrett?
You know, like I said, whoever you are, Sean Strickland. He's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. Says horrible things about lots of different people, and, you know, freedom of speech. I'm not surprised when I got the call. I I got the call. The UFC higher ups called me, nicknames. It's a shock. I gotta apologize, but you're not Israeli enough to go to UFC 250 Israel edition. I'd like to apologize to Trump, and I just want to prove that I'm Israeli enough for you guys. Like, for instance, whenever the list disappeared, and Trump goes out there and says to everybody that he can't really go into it because people that by association will get prosecuted and their names will be tarnished. I want to apologize. Or when Trump goes off to drop that government, no Americans the cost of Americans $15,000 go fight into those. I apologize. Sorry, I've been a critic of that,
No, it's also nice to it's very nice.
Trump goes out there and says, hey, Trump, your approval ratings are the lowest it's ever been across all demographics. And Trump says, well, you know what? I have 99% bringing Israel. I want to apologize. I want to repent. I want to repent now. Apparently, I'm not American enough to go to Freedom 250. I still got my ticket, so maybe we'll just go. I'll bring the bell. We'll just stand outside the gate and we'll just let them know what we really think about Trump and Israel. I'm going to bring the bell.
Yeah, but are you saying all this because you didn't get a match and you just assume because you won the title and now Josh got a match onto the card that you'd get a match on?
I don't have my house.
So, Sean gets your dad. I mean, that'd be hilarious if he's there protesting with his bell. So this turned into a huge story, and we're already seeing more and more people criticize the UFC and support. I think fighters enough. More fighters.
Dana doesn't control any of that shit.
This White House card.
I don't understand it. Dana is not the that concept anymore. He's just a figurehead. As he said, it was the high looks like Dana.
A lot of people have been sharing this clip. It's been getting a ton of views and praise from all the left who probably never watched the UFC before. There's a comment like, first impression of him is good. Sorry for the
Oh, God.
but I'm a fan.
The amount of times I bash your Strickland, yeah, let these lefties discover the other stuff, which I shouldn't say, and they'll sue me against me. It just shows how easy and malleable they are. Yeah, once I actually get to know Sonny with the biggest scum, and it's like, oh no.
Speech is what really makes this country great. When you can't criticize a foreign nation, come on, man, we ought to be able to
Yeah, but you can't criticize your own nation.
Let alone a foreign nation. In fact, that's the only nation you're not allowed to criticize. Something's going to change.
Actually, no, because anti-Semitism covers Muslims, and they're already bringing in that rule as well. Many people can get anti-Semitism as well, so that the Muslims can use, which is why they're renaming the London Court. So that's not pretend that any country you can't criticize. And you can't criticize the own country in the States screaming on Facebook
So now fighters seem much less afraid to criticize the UFC. I think they can control over that.
They've never been afraid. He's never had in that. Oh my god. You've got one or two coming in like Chael Sonnen, but he's never had control over his fighters.
This White House event isn't political, but everyone like what we talked about, nobody's buying the bullshit. Sean Strickland gets making the White House event making legit fans question the UFC. It's something that's right now with everything else you deal with. I mean, this event has been torn apart by people. Even Joe Rogan, like I covered Joe Rogan has been shitting on this like crazy, which he actually responded to. It's like, that's his opinion. He can say what he wants. I'm not going to tell him to shut up or not criticize it.
What's also that thing, that's why Bryce Mitchell used to get fined for that actually.
About getting involved in what his employees are saying. So, maybe tell him to shut up, but he might pressure him not to say certain things or say certain things. Pressuring Rogan into endorsing Trump just like he didn't want to. That pressing on it. So I just feel like it wouldn't be that surprising if he tried to get Rogan in line. Because I mean, also Rogan's one of the most influential people in the world. Obviously, David was one of the shitting the best, honestly. And Rogan's been bullied in the UFC, so I wouldn't be surprised if David gave a call, especially after the Sean.
Oh my god! No, the UFC's always had that policy, something like it, refusing the new amalgamation. And you're making out like Dana White is spinning over and he's not like, he's a manager. Work. Which is like, oh no. There are two Facebook Americans on the news, and I've been losing. It's
a little
crazy.
skeptical about this event happening, either because there's a war going on or just fighting outside, and the difficulty of that. He's one of the faces of the brand. When there's kind of a dissenting voice from someone of that high profile, like how do you?
Seems pointless to
Well,
use this
it's
lever
funny
while the cogs of
because
this machine are
folks don't tell
missing.
them. It's another great question by you. Joe Rogan is a grown-ass man who has his own opinions on different things. And yes, we are really good friends. I don't call him and say, what are you doing? No, why are you talking about bugs? I'm talking about bugs too. These are all real things that come into play that night of the fight. And you're going to have different people that work for me, not as high profile as Joe Rogan, who'll probably have some concerns about a lot of things in doing this and that. But we're going to do it. And to the best of our ability, we're going to get it done. Whatever Joe Rogan's opinions are, he said something crazy like, it seems like a gimmick. It's a real fight. With real stakes, you got, Pereira possibly winning his third world title. If he wins the third world title that night, he jumps over John Jones and becomes the greatest of all time. When you talk about a gimmick, there's absolutely nothing gimmicky about this event. We're celebrating.
You sure John Jones about to face Pereira?
Of America. We're gonna all the representatives of the military there. Every fight on that card means something with who wins or loses that night. And like the most historical sporting event in American history.
Since
always a gimmick. But
you're not worried about
Joe is a grown man, can have his opinions on anything. And you're gonna have many positions.
Years he's had that question. Ironically, mostly about Strickland and fucking what's it, Brett Michaels? No, Brett Michaels. Oh god! Yes, the higher ups above Dana White. He doesn't own Dana. Dana White's not owning UFC anymore. People decide. It's more of a corporate structure. It's what happens to corporate structures. So to get more tone.
Backed by Peter Thiel. I talked about all that, how dystopian it is, it's out of control. I also talked about young Jamie Eric Weinstein or charity that does that.
Oh, thank God.
Check that out.
Weinstein needs to be there.
20 minutes. So if you enjoy the channel, want extra content, it's definitely worth it. There's a ton of stuff up there, so make sure you check that out. The link in the description.
Yes. Okay, so I think resist the deodorant up to 45 degrees protection. I'm not real an expert.
And pull the coaster out at the same time.
Jim, let's get some
As long
questions
as I
here.
hold this, the
Several
cage
people
door
sent
will
this
remain
over.
open.
One here was posted from Rob Barnetta, the official Celtic Corner Facebook group.
Good work, Talia.
I guess there was no check
Now we can ride the roller
that
coasters.
was the
Grab
greatest
anything present, please.
professional
As
wrestler
a
of all
friend of mine
time.
once said, way ahead.
And someone posted, great showing for Randy Savage. I had him in 14th. Sort of the perfect American wrestler. And when people wanted their opinion about it, was Dave Meltzer's response here. He's an interesting case. I have Randy Savage, who's like an Osprey-level talent. And he ahead of his time.
Alfred's always
He
asking
has
me
to goddamn
Oh,
people when he's trying to put them over by comparing them to someone who couldn't fucking hold their side of the jockstrap up. Well, in any case, go ahead. Remember when he compares the Midnight Express to the Young Bucks?
yeah, Kenny Omega, fair enough. Kenny Omega.
He's like an Osprey-level talent. And years ahead of his time. Phenomenal. House show Randy Savage in no way would be top 300 I've seen. I can easily say that the worst house show happened was the match I saw. It's better than 80% or more Those savages house show matches. I think anyone who saw those regularly would say that. As for whether Savage should be honored, I have no idea. Those are great characters and excellent workers when they wanted to be. But that's the danger of trying to rank wrestlers on they see their best matches and not their 4 to 6 day matches.
Oh, it's escapekeeping.
There's also the danger of listening to a guy who sat in the seats and watched the matches in different places at different times and then wants to compare them together.
Yeah, such a wrestling.
Somebody
I've never heard
saying
gatekeeping
the
like that.
validity of, well, now, so if he was trying, he's
So then, with that theory, you should extend it and say that unless you've seen every single match that I never did, including his training matches, we can never talk because you don't know how far he's handled it. You can never talk about that.
would have been in San Francisco with the Cowboys. That was literally the Madison Square Garden of the Northern California territory, or the Tokyo Dome of the Northern California territory. Ed Patterson was a main event guy. He was the guy after Stevens. He was always figured in, and that was his prime. So, of course, he's going to have a bunch of good matches.
With a smile.
And maybe they saw him in Sacramento or Stockton. Those were the other big towns in that territory. And Pat was an old-timer that you went out there and you had the best match you could in your regular towns, whether they drew or not, because you wanted them to draw. And in the spot shows, then you, oftentimes, you got by and made everybody happy. Dave watching Randy Savage would have been on WWF house shows, which were a completely different animal because now,
Can't get past this door.
if you compare that with Patterson in San Francisco, you'd have to say, okay, I only watched Randy Savage in Madison Square Garden. Or only watched Randy Savage on pay-per-view. The house show matches for the WWF with those tours in the 80s, they didn't give a shit. They put the time in and nobody got hurt. They got out of there. The guys were on an incredible road schedule where they were all burnt beyond belief. Hogan wasn't going to go more than fucking 8 minutes. So if Dave wants to compare Savage house show matches, then he should have been in Frankfort, Kentucky in 1981 in front of 300 people with Savage.
Yeah, there you go. Jim Cornette's always said more. Jim Cornette can be the ultimate gatekeeper.
He was young and he was fucking broke and he
so,
fucking
Shane Moss just an absolute.
More Savage and Bobby than Nashville and Chattanooga in '79. That's the thing is you have to take people's body of work as a whole.
Yeah.
You can't say, well, I saw this guy in his biggest territory spot ever where he was always the main event, the prime of his career, and his house show matches were better than the guy working for the WWF when he was, then maybe somewhat past his prime and saving it for the big shows.
We have some more here. Let's see. I'm going through some of these emails, and they pointed me in the right direction. Someone responded to Dave, "Is this a fucking joke, Dave?" She replied, "Pat Patterson was a far better house show wrestler than Randy Savage, so no, not even comparable. I saw both for decades. Probably saw more Patterson matches live than anyone in my life."
Anything
Wait a minute, he saw both for decades.
That's what it says, yes.
Okay, where did he see Randy Savage for decades?
Yeah.
Well, as far as house shows, because I see WWF there in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Well, I'm saying house show wrestler. He saw Randy Savage on house shows in 1985 when Savage started,
I
and
should be able to solve that puzzle.
by the early 90s when he left WCW, Savage was only working on the fucking big WCW shows.
Yeah. That's
So
what
he
he's
saw a lot more
That's why
Patterson
he's
when
not
he was
working
younger.
exclusive.
That's the point I'm making. You could Bill Dundee. But going by that logic that Dave has, Bill Dundee
was probably one of the best house show wrestlers I ever saw, because even if it was a spot show with nobody there, he worked his ass off. He would be drenched in sweat. He might not be taking the biggest bumps, but he would do something to
All missing
please
pieces
the
present
people that
and
were in a building
correct.
no matter what. And there was never anything like a boring build-undie match. Does that mean he was a better wrestler?
At last the puzzle is complete. Solving it should be easy.
Oh, it's the car shop.
Did you use the
Oh, I guess some of the pop out of there.
Hang on, wait a minute, hang on. Where did she just go?
Cameras. That's for that block. And Dolphins. I mean, you've got to go to Lawrence tomorrow. No, I was going to go now. But they were smacking it.
Every other week. And the guys in their 50s and from one, playing about it, that's enough. Real wrestlers. And these guys are acrobats.
So what is November authority?
That's not even a real wrestler versus acrobat fucking argument. That's like is Will Ospreay the wrestler that Randy Savage was? The answer is no. Will Ospreay isn't as good a pro wrestler as Pat Patterson was. I'm sorry, that's the very ultimate. Ospreay got into this goddamn thing anyway. And for Dave to say that Randy Savage is not one of the top 300 show wrestlers of all time. Been a lot of wrestlers. Stretching a little credibility.
It's one thing for years to respond, and I've been a wrestling fan for maybe 30 years. And I'm back and watching an ungodly amount of wrestling from before my time. Ospreay is the best wrestler I have ever seen. It feels uncomfortable saying that about a lot of wrestling on hindsight, but it's true. Coach Dave responded. Believe me, I've seen all kinds of things and I have myself. Randy Savage. Although Patterson was a better control wrestler. And Jaguar, you're going even more. Oh, good God. Didn't want to think anyone could be better than Flair. And as a 309-year wrestler, I still don't think anyone was. But for the best match of the year oftentimes, it's but it's a different world. I don't think for 12 matches over 2 weeks, they need to do so.
What do you think? No, of course not. Because the fucking idiots will be in trash shit by then. Because they don't. They can't tell an athletic story. They have to tell a stunt story.
Wrestle less than
And here's another thing. I was trying to think the other day when I saw Darby bleeding from the back of the head and whoever else got hard weight, it happens all the time. In the territories with all those matches every night, all those guys doing shit, you would go for months without seeing anybody get rid of us. I don't understand what the fuck they're all thinking. And a part of it is the furniture won't work with you. I understand that, but still, there's guys getting busted open even without the furniture. And that used to be a thing in the locker room that would provoke heated conversation after his motherfucker. What the fuck's he doing? Now it's like, Tuesday.
There must be someone I need close by.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Every Stevens was a better wrestler than Pat Patterson or Randy Savage or Will Ospreay or Bill Dundee. At the same time, while Stevens grew a fortune, if you're looking at a complete pro wrestler, the physique and the fucking look and the promo, etc., Savage had a lot of advantages.
I just want the philosophy of I was the old guys in the front row. putting down these guys as acrobats. So that means any man that puts down the style is always wrong.
Well, then it's also the same thing. One night, this was 1981 in the Louisville Garden. Stez was still wrestling. He worked with Billy Robinson. It was a 10-minute Broadway. They just put it on the card because they were both in the territory. They had respect for each other. But when fucking Robinson was leaving, and now Billy Robinson at this point was early 40s, right? Robinson's leaving some old guy that had been coming to Louisville since the days of the Columbia Gym and the Allen Athletic Club. Was like, 20 years ago, we have kids younger than this Robinson. Those new kids like Billy Robinson just couldn't stand up to the greats.
Yeah, but we can't, that's not right. We just get something. So before we go into a shop, we'll get some of those pounds, most pounds have an house go in and Tesco, so they just close them and so
Well, I'm going to make the weeks of forward. That might be fine.
yeah, but just the top, so it might be one of those bits where I know to fix.
No, that's good. That's will be my first hit. I have the second hit. Actually, on the phone. Done it like about 15 minutes. I'm a man.
So they were in Richmond, Virginia at the Theme Center, which I guess is the new place. It's nowadays. Not the old Richmond Coliseum, but I haven't heard of this joint. But they opened the show.
Then I will be really free just to get home for my chips.
MJF been agreed to last week after he wouldn't agree to fight Mark Briscoe. And they did a pre-tape or a backstage deal from whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, but it's more though.
They got that goddamn push his marbles in his mouth. You can't understand what he's fucking saying. He looks like he's trying to pass the goddamn cactus through his vaginal canal. And MJF walks out and stops his catchphrase and slaps him in the face. They get the fight. So now they're
Perhaps there's more fear than the first month
no count-outs. What the fuck did they have to do anything? He doesn't even make no disqualification. That might make sense, but there's no count-out. And the announcers even said, well, it's not no disqualification, and they touched him that you should have been disqualified for. But yet they weren't. What the fuck? No, count it. Was it because MJF said, oh my god, I'm gonna make this fucking bull-headed motherfucker entertaining for 20 minutes just and I can't impose any rules on him. He doesn't know how to follow them. I'll take the easy way out. Just let's do everything. What the first 5 minutes of the show was mostly these, and then Andre came in and gave Rush a pep talk, so you could understand what either one of these two fuckers was saying. I have known Hispanic people whose first language was Spanish, who I could understand goddamn perfectly when they were speaking English. Savio Vega had a thick fucking accent, but he sounds like James Earl Jones next to these two motherfuckers.
Well, a lot of places, when you do the sausage,
So they had this match. Hey, MJF came out in a matador outfit. Which, why do you think this is where everybody just every week would be allowed to be a comedian? I mean, there's been shows where funny costumes are multiple segments.
I'm never going back in there.
He does this type of thing when a
Never go back in there.
does it to get the smart-ass heat.
I'm done. Because I just have to talk about the monster. Because if he asks, I'll be honest. That's the weird thing. I'll be honest. That's it, what not being. Goes on, stand out, so you have to just I don't really want it, so you don't really listen. And stuff we didn't want, you don't get. You said it. You don't get it. It's something we find helpful. Say, and it's kind of, you know, with the monster, once a bit of one shot, so you stop us from 340 pounds, and that's the 100 pounds, it's only each side.
Peace of mind with 24/7
Yeah,
support.
and that's just one of the that's
Your
where
money is
it
too
is.
exhausted. Click to explore.
Actually, for the WWE, or WWF, he was writing for the magazine.
So it's all
So I don't think we really count that, because if we count that, then we got to back me up to 1976.
That's probably just trying to put it as well. Some people are saying 450. Yeah, I'm sure they are. There's nowhere else they can get a sorry, and never turned up. Did you charge us extra money? I know, an extra 40 fucking extra pounds.
And an invoice to show us where the money goes.
Whatever's hidden around here?
I'm shocked that we don't really want to deal with the last product. So, no. Nothing you might have trust is a good idea. We don't want to raise it down.
No. It's too much, isn't it?
It is, just talk about this as supplier, but he doesn't want to fulfill the obligation of a supplier.
950. 960.
It's just got a post office code, which we kind of really have business code.
And I've been in the business
Should be
15
safe.
fucking years.
So I'll take that. I owe this a £10 then. 10 is out. I owe that 10. So because I want to break some more change in that change thing. That's the key there. Put 20 quid in there.
Probably just slacks me off.
So sorry. I thought
You might have run this one
to take the WCW
deal.
But then how do you look at this, Brian? Because he was sent home
she came out there with a knife.
within one of the first 6 months he got there.
Have you applied to a time to get cat food?
Lost the documentary. You've seen all they still had to be paid. Because they were stupid enough to give him a contract saying that if they sent him home or he fucking whatever he said.
Oh, yeah, the interest is sort of. Oh, yeah, tell me what it is. Yes, it's a top page. So that might be worth having a look.
Twice during that period,
Exactly, 3 on it's 4
they
offsets.
said, go home and don't do this
Yeah.
anymore. It was
So 4 6 happens. 2 babies.
and one time they said, well,
This is the week to have
accept our
on the
demotion. And he said, no, I'll go home and you have to pay me or I'll sue you. And then the second time they said, just go on home and we know we have to pay you completely. Are we underestimating Justin Gaethje or are we overestimating Ilya Dvorak? It's one of the two. By the way,
Justin Gaethje is just.
I've seen almost nothing
Good.
in support of Justin Gaethje. I don't mean like
But
they
he's got
don't
great
like him
defense.
kind of
He's
support.
got
I just mean
the
people
rest of it.
that are
He's got
looking at the
top good.
match have been very dismissive of Gaethje. Now, I
Looks like
gotta
I've
tell
done a
you,
massive
whoever
just
that
like
opponent
happened.
was that was going to take on Ilya was going to get the same treatment they
He's
Gaethje's
rock
getting.
hold. Once we realised he had
There right now is not a body that you can put in there where the community doesn't believe that Ilya Dvorak is not only going to beat him, that he's going to walk through
Oh,
him.
yeah, it is Croatian, yeah.
And when you walk through Volk, you walk through Oliveira, and you walk through Holloway, back to back to back, there's good reason for that. But guys, this is still Justin Gaethje. This is not just one of the guys. This
So
is
we'll
still not.
just Gaethje against
Not just
Volkanovski.
because the rankings said so. He's got the interim belt. He is the next best thing. By the way, he's a 2-time interim champion. By the way, he's a 2-time interim champion and BMF champion. There is nobody more decorated. But I don't feel that there's anyone you could bring out in this time frame against Ilya. Ilya is just the chosen one right now for our sport. But are we right to do that? Have you seen enough of Ilya Dvorak? Have you seen enough areas from Ilya Dvorak? Have you seen him in guard? What do you think of his ground and pound? What do you think of his wrestling? I get your soul in the boxing. What do you think of the kicks and the knees and the elbows? And generally, for somebody to get anointed to such high status, we would have seen all of those things. I asked a room full of experts, is Ilya as good as they say he is? Have we seen enough? Have you experts seen enough to declare that he's the best? And they all said yes. They all said yes, he is the best. Nobody can beat him.
Whatever the
So
league
then I
is
started
about,
asking names because
discover
specifically,
it in
what about Islam? Could Islam beat him? And everyone in the room, and they did take pause with that, they thought that would be a good match, but they still all unanimously took Ilya. So, okay, so are we overestimating Ilya? Like, that's a hard thing for anybody to live up to. That is almost impossible for anybody to live up to. That like Jeff Flanagan can rest his soul said about Vitor Belfort one time, he has no known weaknesses. Well, right now, that is Ilya Taporia. He has no known weaknesses. You've seen him reminded.
What's that?
Brendan Allen versus RDR. That was a match of fatigue. RDR got tired.
God.
And you're done when that happens. And that can happen to anybody. Shemaev versus
Yeah, well done. Literally, look, he does in the eye say it's offensive what you're saying.
That could happen to anybody. So why are we
It's
so
not.
No,
sure?
but even under their definition,
What happened to Ilya? I mean, why are we so positive when all the pressure, everything that's being put on the show, and not to mention he's been removed from the cage for a while?
Send us an attractive woman. Who's
The
going to
plan was for him to fight in January. Here we are halfway through the year. Does that not mean anything? Nobody spoke about it. Nobody has said that it's given a competitive advantage to Justin Gaethje. So are we?
Oh my God, that can't be true.
Is it even possible for somebody
That
to be
can't be true.
as we currently as a community are saying that he is? Is it even possible? And then let's talk about, are we underestimating Justin Gaethje? This is a guy who only one time.
Oh my
right? And you know
God.
what? I've got to put two in there.
You can trust him.
Justin lost
6
to Khabib, and when he lost to
That's
Manny.
gotta be
Those
a
are the
man.
only
That's gotta
times
be
when
made.
Justin
I
lost
hope
to
that's
better
made.
fighters.
Oh, it's home
Any
6
other
million. 6 million.
Yeah, but
club in
that
the
is
world that
higher
Justin Gaethje
security.
It
What's
was
so
more
higher
to it.
security?
Right, like it was a back and forth battle, and he got caught.
Probably he took
There
about
was
15
always
years didn't
more
he,
to
without
it.
making shots.
When Justin brought his best against his opponent's best, I maintain for you there's only been two guys that were just better. And Max, it was speed. It was very obvious, and it was speed.
It must be.
Justin could do everything that Max could do. He just couldn't do it as quick. So when Justin would come stumbling in, boom, 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 Max hits him 3 times and steps out. Justin misses. Max does this all over again. He just rinse and repeat that same 6 seconds
Because I think
exchange.
they're dangerous to them. Why would you put
Until the fight was
them
over,
in like the areas?
with his
We've
wrestling,
naturally
felt the
welcomed them,
armbar,
not
was
the
able
areas
to
because
overwhelm
they're
outside of that.
more welcoming. So
He
where's the
was
mountain?
skilled
It's just
enough
like
to
towns, isn't it? And why is there so large motives? It's something to
they did not
punishment.
demonstrate their
Because the thing is,
skills.
we're being punished by my percentage in our back on. What do you mean you're being punished? You should be happy that you're finally getting
Are
it.
you sure that
Should things you're left out that you haven't got?
Are you sure that those kicks, particularly those low
Look,
kicks of Justin
you're
Gaethje,
just about
can't
to
land and
punch
keep
you.
damage?
Don't worry about it.
Are you sure that if it turns to wrestling, the All-American
I
Division
think
I
sometimes some
All-American
actually
Justin Gaethje can't hold his own? Are you sure of that?
Legitimately.
Have you truly seen enough? What about the break? What about the gap? What about the time off? In that time off, Justin Gaethje put together not 1 but 2 training camps. Once to Michael Bisping and Paul Felder had a conversation about Tom Aspinall and the largely to do with the eye injury, right? Michael Bisping dealt with the eye injury, been very open about that. British fighter, supporter of Tom. So I think they also saw it as a major opportunity. Hey, if I can't get a hold of Tom, you've been through something similar. Where's your experience like this? Bisping said no. Bisping actually went into
Tom Aspinall is fucking. I think he's overwhelmed by Silverknight.
what he went through and
how that chance. Yeah,
graphic that could be.
He's got those weird things in his eye.
Having his eye surgery, layers of his eye taken apart, put back together, and
especially seeing the shit he was giving John Taylor to the whole of the time.
And
that's how
juxtapose that with Tom being poked in the eye, and to our knowledge, not having any of those major surgeries. Now, I think that might be the most important thing that you hear. That Tom did not have any of these types of surgeries to our knowledge.
They've been told not to. The mental black people, they've been told now don't section them because their numbers are too high.
Yeah.
And for a number of
Did you read that somewhere else?
They didn't come out with that court case.
That was it.
The guy attacked someone.
Found
And
or
he
something
was
like
meant to be put away, but he wasn't, because they even said it in their notes that if I was represented, that he would be overrepresented, but you should be thinking that. Is he nuts? Yes, get him in the hospital. You should be thinking about colour, because you're not helping them then. How's he getting healthy mates?
You know what, sometimes stuff comes up on your phone that you don't really even like for. There's a local Birmingham page that keeps coming up, and on it there's people taking photos of this guy who's been going around just attacking people.
Yeah.
And apparently he's been attacking people, like literally going up and full punch them and stuff, and he's a big guy, scary people. I saw on it the other day, I saw a couple of the places, I didn't take any notice of them, and one came up, and it was with regards to the fellow who everybody's been looking for. It was his brother. And his brother was on there saying, his brother seems like such a nice person. His brother was on there basically apologising, saying, I'm so sorry. But saying, their mum has been going through hell for years, and they're not trying to get help. Apparently, they take him to the hospital, and he even named the doctor, and then the doctor just lets him go again.
But isn't this isn't like reverse combat, whatever it is, but isn't this the horrible reality? Because just one or two of them go on to violence, but there'll be 50, 60 if everyone to go on to violence. That is lost because they refuse to be labelled as mentally ill because it fucks with numbers. And so these people will not get help. They'll not die or suicide or terrible, all because doctors and mental health people are afraid that certain numbers going to look strange. It's like, I don't know, why is it a bad thing that more than a dead? Could we not be that they've got those sense of self, those sense like density, identified image, they could be accused of being those atrocious and shit like that. So if they're over-identified being black, they're also rejected because, well, you're born in Britain, so that's the part of attachment from society when it gets to the second, third generation. It's not a negative that they're expressing mental anguish.
No.
That's to be expected because the second, third generation have no idea who they are, do they? No. As you said with the mayor, he has no idea who he is. No. Well, he does. He knows his name, but I mean, his identity. It's just, and that happens a lot, isn't it? And if they're not getting help when they've got schizophrenia because some culture is afraid of the numbers, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The left wing needs to get the fuck out of this. They need to go. They need to go. They're not caring compassionate people like they kid themselves. They would just look at the audience first, not the colour of the person. It seems in every aspect of their environment, colour plays some kind of part. So it's really weird that there's no...
I don't know if there's anything else that's been
probably not been happening, I think. It's crazy. You know,
I have to go upstairs.
So Tom, if you're ready or you're not,
It's coming home with us.
you need to stick with the story that you're not.
oh, I've got the brain, so maybe.
An interim belt is what happens in the absence
Don't use it
of
simple.
an able and willing undisputed champion. If you, as the undisputed champion, come out prior to our interim belt and tell the world that you're ready and able, we can't do an interim belt.
Yeah.
Born out of the darkness and grew into a soulless mercenary, even more ruthless than my father. He's a monster. Mr. Freeze, Poison Ivy, Two-Face, Mary Bones. Bane has been orchestrating this chaos all along.
For the sake of Gotham, I will send him back down the hole he crawled out of.
Don't underestimate him, Bruce.
Wait a minute. I might have known. This one never misses a party.
Joker.
Oh, so Joker and Barry to know each other in this one.
Yeah, come on. He's in custody at the GCPD.
Owe us an explanation on the eye. But if Tom's eye was fine, do you see the problem? If Tom's eye was fine,
He should have been fighting.
I suspect they're still holding the Joker at the GCPD on North Island.
In the absence
I'll follow you.
of an able and willing undisputed champion. So that contest is going to be held on June 14th. On June 15th, Tom's eye can feel better. It can feel great. Now, is that what's going to happen? It's an interesting spot. It needs to happen pretty quickly after that, yes. However that eye feels.
This is
This
dispatch.
thing went through this too.
Looks like an emergency in the East
This thing
End.
will raise his hand and say, my
Two
eye
sets
is
of bad
perfect,
guys
I got
having a
20/20 vision, put me in.
disagreement. Over.
But you must understand,
prior to this fight on June 14th, Tom can be as hurt as he wants to be. But at 7 a.m. on June 15th, that Monday morning, if Tom's story does not begin to change drastically, if it does not begin to change very quickly to, hey, here, the end is in sight. Well, I gotta get here, the doctor said, give it another 8 days, we're gonna get there, everything's feeling really good. If it doesn't start to do that at any
I think it's also especially dodgy because he's negotiating with Eddie Hearn, isn't he? Getting fight offers from him. So it's just, it's messed up.
Bad news.
So that gives more chance to increase your fan base, isn't it? And I'm sorry, but I'm not interested in so much about boxing.
Has got to begin the show.
This is having a bacon and tomato and crusty fucking toast.
To return,
we got orders from up top to send him straight to Arkham Asylum. Strange.
It's none of your business.
So bacon and tomato one.
Running in there and running out there. So it's better I'll do that than not go, isn't it?
Yes.
So I'll run in and I'll run out.
I just say to him, look, man.
It's got to be quick. My food's getting cold.
Yeah. And I've got to have. Also, it's like I've got Benji's injection.
I know. I'm not glad that you came around with me that night because you had to suffer going through his kitchen. But I'm glad in the sense that when you come back in life, it's hard to explain how he is if you don't experience him.
Oh yeah, no, you just. As you saw for me, I couldn't deal with him, so I just walked out.
You couldn't.
I was polite as I could, but I let him know that I needed to leave. He weren't acknowledging that, and he was like, well, I'll come back tomorrow. And I thought he had to be done, but to find out that it still hasn't been done in that kitchen, I just want to punch him in the face. In fact, let's go to the water shit, and he doesn't understand. Being in his house is horrible. I'm not a smoker, I smoke weed, fair enough. I'm not a smoker. That stench in his house, it feels it's on your skin when you come out.
Because it clings to everything.
Yeah.
That's what that yellow.
And then he's asking you to touch it all, hold it all through. And then he's just rude through the entire process. And we turn around and say, well, yeah, it's almost 10 o'clock at night, we've been up since 5 in the morning. We've now got to get up at 5 in the morning, so we've only got 7 hours. Yeah, we need to feed the kitties, medicine, eat our own dinner.
Ready to get moving when you are, I clearly said to him, I'll do half an hour. I said, I'll give you 30 minutes tomorrow.
Yes.
I said to him, I'll get a lot done. I said, in 30 minutes. I honestly did say, even though you heard me. You know what? He's so much to get us in that fucking chair.
Oh, she knows you, yeah. Yeah, because we didn't realise we were just going in there and start doing it. So I said, oh, I have to say everything. No, you don't. Boxes, I put things in boxes.
He said that. I said, nah. He went around there. You were like, oh no, he's going to have to do everything. It's like, no.
It's just what you've been describing.
He's going to have to let me do it because I thought there was no way he would be wild enough to want to go through there and do that. Because that would take hours.
Yeah.
It took hours.
It's all useless stuff. And like I said, what was when I lost to, I completely interested when he was going to toss his sister's death certificate in the bin. Nah. But you have to sit there looking at fucking glasses cases. These are my glasses. You have to sit looking at them. And that's the weird thing, there's no personal artifacts in that house. It is a really weird home. It smells like the sister was a hostage in there waiting until there's locks on.
So, does your new sidekick have a name? Or do you just call her Rob to save reprinting your business?
In that dangerous dog.
Gosh.
And then I think maybe that's what it was. It's shut locking the doors on the outside so the dog couldn't get through.
No, I don't think they were lovers. I think he saw his CP down the I'd say 100%. The Asian names from Compton steal off him. Go around his house and take more money off him. And they're not gangsters. They're not normal people. They're not what you expect to do that kind of behaviour. It's like, I've seen people do that kind of behaviour, and there's all the just got an air about them. Those people don't have that air about them. So they feel, but then, if it's 3 years, they send their kid down there. You know what I mean?
Open and shut case. But for some reason, you've come all the way here to the belly of the beast just to tie up some loose ends. Does anyone know the punchline here? Because I'm lost for words.
Those people at the end.
That'd be a first.
There's a facial differences and things like that.
Let's sync up before you get started.
Don't keep me waiting.
But yeah, he's definitely a pedophile. Let's keep all facetious like he's 100% pedophile. 100%.
This is what he had on.
As you said, now the children and the men have stopped going around. Males. Fashionable.
and this.
Not accidental flashing, it's not accidental thing, it's not moving stuff around. Like a
Sal,
power
you
play,
idiot.
straightest
How
combat.
many times? This is the
creates
evidence
discomfort,
table. The
creates...
buffet table is
Sorry,
over
look what
there.
you're around. He doesn't do it with me now either.
I refuse to give
I used
talk.
to just turn away, so I completely used to. But it's just, I wanted to do it.
It's a power play thing. And as you know, it's not, if he was doing it because he was a straight person, he'd still be doing it. But he doesn't. He does it to like the kids and the men, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because objectifiers can bang anything, can't they? Unfortunately, that's why they keep
The old good cop, bad cop routine. Talk.
So it's all like God. Sorry, it's meant to be like dastardly clue.
Excuse me. Ooh, it's been a while since I spoke bat, but I think you said League of Shadows. Never heard of them. Sorry to disappoint. Never heard of them.
Let me try. Tell us about Bane, or we show all your new friends in Arkham this.
Bane's the big fella, right? Not too much to tell, other than he looks like he gives great hugs.
What's Bane's plan?
Ooh, I like this side of you.
Let me show you a side you won't like. Start talking, Joker, or I'll give you a punchline you won't find funny.
Holy bad puns, Batman. Whose idea was this? Coming into Arkham and wasting your time with little old me.
It's not working. I'll make him talk. Who is Bane working for?
Not me, if that's what you're asking. But you already know that, don't you?
Where is he?
This one's some crusty toast.
Where is Bane?
Crusty bread there if you got your up front.
Where is he? Where is Bane?
Like it says bacon and get smarter.
No, bacon and smart, just bacon and smart.
I have never put pepper on these sandwiches. Nope.
Why'd you say that?
I thought I do, but I don't.
Sorry.
But someone makes that much pressure on it. I know he's a pepper. I know.
Have you not worked it out yet?
I can't. You want that I cannot do. Plus, Sky.
Oh, this whole thing is a
I'd
trap.
end up taking in Sky. I can't risk that at all. Like,
We need to get out of here.
just, if she hadn't been that with the dog, it'd be different.
No
But because we've got feisty cats, they'll rush up in there, get their business.
Oh, they're getting their
Because they're just used to being able
She's just like them, she'll
she'll
react.
react. Yeah.
Delete.
She doesn't realise the size of it. And even though it's encouraging when she wants to bite, but she didn't, she just...
Bruce,
She bit here, but like she took my hand in her mouth. Maybe that's not like what was happening. That's not the thing, because with cats, it's instantaneous reactions. It's just kill one of those cats.
Many times, that's the other guy.
No, that's an illusion I don't like it. It's also the fact that none of his family's turned up in. I should show. Also the fact that none of his family's turned up in shows us a weirder. And the weird thing is, the era he grew up in, he can't even hide behind the fact that he might be that he's gay. Because, yes, that may drive one or two away compared to most people. It doesn't, does it?
No.
But,
And you're going down, Batman.
What's our plan?
Survive.
I'm going to use some of the friends in Wisconsin with lots of flats down the road. So they used to tell them.
had to pass. Swear to God, I'm not messing about. Just ask me about that picture on his wall. Oh, that's interesting. What's that? Let's see what it says. So it's like I said, it's just so different. Like going to Games Workshop paint, they used to just tell by the like how it looks. And no one uses Games Workshop paint to paint it just because it's not designed. I don't know what you call it. It's not designed for bulk usage. That's why you only get 20 bottles. It's called detail work, things like that. It's got little bottles. So it's not meant to be something you see a poster on. A4 fucking poster. It's also a bit scary. The guy's what's it, right?
After I beat you, they'll turn
Yeah.
this into a national
Oh,
holiday.
coffee's a pedo. Like I said, it's that kid. Yeah, I mean, they stand there watching people get beaten on street corners, they calling the police, and then that kid got nervous inside the house. That's just all we went to him, so relieved to leave, like, straight away murdered. And let's just be nice. I'll see you tomorrow. And the blanket was up, the nakedness was there. And he's what, about 14, 15, that kid? So it's your neighbour's kid. You believe they've stolen your sister's material belongings. Yes, you have to be polite to him, but they don't bring him anything. They don't bring him any shopping. They don't bring him anything like that. That's all. They don't do anything for him. You get them. Yeah, but you get them himself. Why does he need them for takeaways? So I mean, doesn't need them at all. They do nothing for the fee they get. That's all. The shopkeeper does more. He brings his shopping right across the road, all the way to the door, and he shouts at him and treats him like shit. No tip or anything like that. If someone did that, that should be an inbuilt tip. That should just be an inbuilt £5. And yes, he made fuss, but you give it to him because it's like a delivery service. That's what he says. Say, it's either that or Uber. That's what it is, isn't it? So you bring it over, you're delivering it. There's a delivery shop. Tip. Oh no, precise to the penny.
Did you give him
Yeah,
his money?
it's been really mean to him.
What was he?
Yeah, and he was just doing his usual nice thing. Just polite, just being overly polite.
But he
yes,
about something else, he didn't have something.
He checked the bags, but the guy, I think, had everything, so he had like 4 or 5 items. He made him count it out. Didn't even give him, he made him count it out in pennies and things like that. That little tub he used to have on top of the cupboard. Yeah, no. Him, I don't know, because like I said, those people stole from his sister. That's what he says. So why are they in his house? They don't do anything. They don't make him meals. They don't do anything for him, but he pays them every month out of his carers allowance. Well, no, it's not. It's out of his own money because the carers allowance goes on thingies. So he's paying them. Because I said that to him. I said, "Oh, you just pay his carers allowance, so they're definitely not getting his carers allowance. That's going to the people who turn up and look after him. He hasn't got that per se because he's got proper carers, if you know what I mean. So their money comes from his money. They stole off his sister. They provide, well, his dead sister, who just died, don't provide any services. And yet he pays them and he's really nice to them.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. And that's that dude on the allotment who moved in with them, which is also very weird.
Very weird.
Yeah. And the fact that he didn't seem to be obliged to move out anymore, well, like he was getting on his feet stage where he's home on the farm.
You've seen how tiny that house is.
Yeah.
If you lived in that house, just think about it. You're a single man, a little bit older than what you are now. You've got that very small bedroom at the back.
Yeah,
that was your bedroom. And then one of your sisters in that very small bedroom at the front. And you know that you've only got that little front room with that little kitchen downstairs.
Yeah.
And you run into somebody at the allotments with a violent
You're
dog.
not giving up their
big
space.
violent dog. You know, your sister's got cats that dog ain't going to get along with. And you don't know this lad from Adam, but you just know he's an alky and that he's homeless. Why the fuck would you bring him home?
Yeah, bring that to your house.
And then you take up the living room. Then Les had the living room, if you remember. He used to sleep.
Yeah, so she had the smallest room in the house then.
Yeah.
Have you seen that front bedroom?
Yeah.
It's literally like a V shape.
Yeah.
There's room enough for you to walk, basically your shoulders. You might be able to fit a divan slightly smaller than one we've got in there. Then she's got to fit all her stuff in there. I thought the dude lived in there. But the homeless person should have lived in there. So I mean,
but that bedroom's tiny anyway, isn't it?
And a lot of it's got a place to hide stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really do think it's a pedophile. There's more points of being a paedophile than there is. It's not me just being, it's a bit thinking. It's like thinking because yes, he could be gay, but no, because like I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe why. It's like I don't know. He wouldn't. Why hasn't he got gay friends and things like that?
Because I'm right thinking that the gay community, they stick together, don't
yes,
they? You know
if you go down a gay bar,
see a lonely old gay bar, really.
That's it. Even one who's in the closet, because you'll be going down the bars.
Because of the links that they've made over the years, they always find somebody that's like them. Even
Yes.
if they're not involved
They're very
sexually,
chatty,
they've
very
got
thinking.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because they find somebody else like them, don't they?
That's
Especially
it,
in his age group.
Yeah.
Don't know so much about the
And
kids nowadays.
if he's picking up
It's grown
people
to
that are
be normal.
anonymous and moving them into his home, he's not shy about his sexuality.
No.
So he would be, that's what I'm saying, unless like they're the rapey kind, then that brings him back to being a dodgy person. So, yes, I mean, I think, no, I genuinely do believe you. I think when you scroll that poster, you'll see in his eyes, you'll see he won't have a quick answer. He won't expect the answer for it. If you really look for it, it's like I say, it's centralised. There's no family photos, there's no photos for his sister, even though there should be, because she lives there.
They've got them on he's got them on the mantelpiece wall.
Yeah, but he's here.
Yeah.
His existence is here. So that'd be like, I don't know, having it. That'd be like having the PlayStation over there. But no, because whatever is your centralised.
Yeah.
It's what he sees every day when he wakes up, it's what he sees when he goes to sleep, it's what he sees all day. And you see when the mouths are removed from that house, he stops suddenly to flash all the time. I noticed it. And getting kids to screw in. Yeah, but getting kids to screw in those bags and going to his catheter.
He passed me a bag.
Yeah.
He passed me the tissues and wipes. No, I'm not. I don't want to touch your hands when you're wiping your ass.
No, because it's not like he's cleaning his hands afterwards. It's not like, where's his antiseptic hand pump? Just put pump in his hands. Yeah,
Sometimes
people like that.
See, and he hands it back to me.
He's just a horrible man. He's a horrible person. No, because because people who behave like that are pedophiles. You see him all the time now to catch a predator.
I've never met
No, think about all the people Pam deals with. No, if you look at the attitudes of the people Pam deals with, they're white. Look at that attitude, that looks like, what the messages they send, how they try and intimidate the child and all the rest of it. And you just see how less is. It's like to ask yourself, who are the only people he's nice to in the neighbourhood? The ones. Yeah. People with kids, he's lovely to. People without kids, Jesus, he'd throw them in the road. It's like an evil version of that. No, I quote unquote put people in danger. Just you can't do that. There's not enough evil in the world. he's a negative version of him. You've got me. No, he's a bad person. I'm convinced he's a pedophile. Right. It was a game show, the biggest pedophile for the honest. I actually think he's a pedophile. That's no. Taking that Redwood picture. Taking that frame.
Yeah.
Redwood picture.
Yeah.
They're using Games Workshop paint to trace over the rocket, the moon, the earth. That's the plastic. The Games Workshop paint. That shit is not designed for mass consumption by the art. It's designed for
Did he ever say where he came up with the idea from? There must be a reason for it. There must be I'm doing this because...
Oh no, see, you missed it. The reason is the Games Workshop paint. Who uses Games Workshop paint the most? Kids. Because of the fairs, aren't they, and all the rest of it. It's the same with Pokemon as it is with Pokemon. Oh, no. Games Workshop paint is expensive as well. Yeah. So I know as kids, it's not so that people for us to easily get. So it's just an entryway, isn't it? Relatively cheap for adults, but for kids, it's mind-blowing, isn't it? Okay, so yeah. No, they're dead. And he's dead. All the posters, he's got one of them. Trust me, this. Ugh. There's no way else you're taking this gift. I don't know why you're not taking it as a gift. Well, not as a gift. There's no way you're not buying the car boots up. It's fucking ugly. Like, it looks like to be painted by someone with Down syndrome. The paint dry so thick doesn't go for a shot. Maybe that's something you've got to use as model paints to protect models if that's stuff in there. So, yeah. Oh. Yeah, but he's a pair. So you're doing better than most, to be fair. Most of them kick you. Oh, shit. Oh, that's another reason why he knows it comes. Because it means him. because
he's not all the time though. This is the
no, I mean
sometimes it's
I
perfectly
mean
fine.
at all. I don't mean to you at all. You're such a nice person.
It's like
and you just instigate things.
Do you ever somebody's like kind of like, oh, disgusted, or like kind of like they're so like, I don't even know what the face is. It's like a screwed up face, like,
yes, yeah,
that kind of thing. And he just sits there with the face on it, laid there on the bed. What? What? If he doesn't hear what I say properly, you got what? Like he's kind of like he's really angry. He's
because he doesn't want to engage with it. To be fair,
what, sorry?
He doesn't want to engage with it because you're an adult female. It means you don't fit what he wants. If you think about how he spoke to the neighbour next door,
yeah,
and she had a child. Think about the complete universal difference in the little voice,
yeah,
the pleasantness, and then the same with the neighbours, isn't it? But then it's like thinking, you know, he's a terrible man. He's just a terrible dude. It's not looking at it. It's almost
so he starts doing his pathetic thing and starts making me feel bad. And he's got something, he's got something.
So there's what's just extend my opening hours. There's a very good time to eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a taste. There's something. The sooner of it feels like it's so good.
Just looking to the class. I feel like stealing. See what I did on my list for tomorrow? We can start the third as well if you want. We'll just go in just about 3 minutes and start the upstairs.
No, what I mean is, when the ball would get back, if you want to leave it music,
Yeah. No, just put the other so quick.
yes.
Do you want to take bets on whether or not I get a catty comment or a pathetic comment as in one with me?
So it depends on whether that's on 4 people.
I found a message on my phone from the other day where he says he didn't have to go to the hospital because it all got cancelled. see if somebody puts up with this taxi. That's going to put that into July. See Chris in the morning. Do all those maps and then I'll go some more of those. I'm not sure if it's too expensive. I need to sit down and start working out the price of it. No. I need to rewrite the board, that's what I need to do. Because it's the 4.99 as well. I've got to sit down and just work out the cost. I'm not sure if it's expensive for £3. Like for what it costs us.
I'm used to it for about, you get it for about £3.
60, 65, 7.
You get it for £3.
So I'm thinking I'll probably get that to £3.
Especially just said taking regular drink. Any regular drink.
But at the moment I'm doing it with small drink.
I do regular size. Because then
Maybe keep it at 350 then.
yeah, they do regular size, yeah. Because then they look at the board. 295, 295, 360, 360.
Yeah, so that's the problem. I think it's because I've done it with a small drink, not a regular drink.
Yeah.
That's why I used to do. Keep it 350, do it with a regular drink.
Because then
You've got it.
everything is really like a cappuccino most regular coffee, isn't it?
Because I've just got like an extra 50p on a Belgian hot chocolate, an extra pound on a Belgian mocha, which nobody will expect to get one of those because obviously a Belgian hot chocolate on its own is £3.90.
Yes, so
£3.50.
So
Yeah, so basically then, if you're having a real Belgian hot chocolate for £4.20 as a deal, then your £3.90 is on the hot chocolate anyway. So you're basically then getting the if I don't mind doing that, that's fine because we make.
You could put the breakfast bun, also maybe you could put the breakfast bun on solid bun. So sausage bacon. Sausage or bacon, I think. Actually say sausage bacon.
All veggie sausage. I don't think an egg would go into one of those.
Veggie sausage. Not maybe.
I'm pretty sure those maps are only about 15p each, aren't they? So what, less than 10p each?
The exact hash brown with 25p. What do you charge for small coffee?
Coffee is £2.45.
Small?
Oh no, not a little one. We don't do a small coffee. We only do a regular coffee and a large coffee. £2.45 or £2.90.
What's small coffee?
You can't do it. The thing is, when the latte is £3.20, you can't have. Otherwise, people will be doing that scam.
No, you just not latte on.
Oh, right.
Coffee, just like reasonable tea and coffee. Next to that, it's like the lab there. The left in there. You just have tea and coffee and switch around. Tea and coffee is not necessarily different. There are similarities to them. So small coffee next to the tea. But then we have tiny bit. It's just warm. Obviously, a limited brand. Shit, that's gold. What did he say to you? Shit.
You saw it coming out, where is it like that? And the wind just took it off over the top of it like this. Just went through into the roof. So I thought it was just instinctive.
You don't know what I'm saying, live for what the rubbish man is saying.
Yeah, this is the moment he lives for. That's why I'm going to shut my mouth.
See,
Guess what just happened? I was like, oh, I need to go get them back.
see, why did I say that's a police detective? The last words I ever heard her say was, guess what just happened? I understand those murder mysteries now, where they go, oh, it's you, rather than just saying the name. It's someone said, oh, hello, Henry.
Don't do that.
Oh, it's a playground. It's sparky on the weekends. Do you need your phone?
I think I've got it, have I? I should have it. Oh shit, I'll need that if I God, that did happen because otherwise I got all the way down.
There you go, fake baby. That's the morning.
What's he got to do watching either? It's not quite spaz.
That's probably what you're saying.